Off its premiere at the 2023 South by Southwest Film Festival, Joyride, the new raucous, raunchy comedy from Adele Lim, stars 4 Asian American friends who travel through Asia in search of one of their birth mothers, and along the way experience friendship and ups and downs, as well as a bunch of no-holds-bar debauchery. This might have had like the best in-theater reaction of all the films we saw. Lots of laughter, lots of clapping. Like, I feel like I heard only 80% of this movie, partially because not only was there a huge response to it, but it is fast paced. It moves. It wastes no time on reactions. It barely wastes time on plot, just to go straight to the jokes. How successful that was, I'm not sure all the time, but it's definitely a fun time at the movie theater, especially with a crowd. Art, what did you think about Joyride? Was it fun, or were you not as hyped as the rest of the audience around you?
Oh, it was a blast, bro. I thought that this was a movie where maybe not every joke is going to hit for people, but this was one where they cut it so well. Man, the pacing on this is ridiculous. You can't tell what's scripted, what's an ad lib. You're looking at some of these scenes and going like, there is definitely like 15 minutes of alternate takes to what you guys did here. But you feel like no other movie other than Bottoms, these actors going off of each other. Like every single line that they throw at each other is fantastic. They're always coming up with another bit. It is as raunchy as it could be. This is like girls' night for 2023. It also, like you said, comes from a couple of people who worked on Crazy Rich Asians. This is funny.
It is.
Way funnier.
Way funnier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I personally enjoyed this one more than Crazy Rich Asians, even if I wasn't like completely blown away by it. But it is a lot of fun and really funny. That pace was almost like, it's like hard to hold on. Like, it's hard to keep
That's
up
why I
with.
loved it. It's a joyride.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, they almost need that pacing to like account for like, we don't even need to worry about this much plot stuff. We can ignore the fact that something might not make any sense because we are already on to the next thing. And that's okay because it is really just taking you on this like nonstop ride.
Yeah, I feel like the hit rate was not as high as something like Bottoms. But they're still like, you're never going to go more than like 2 minutes without finding something funny. And it's there. It also is really elevated by these performances. We should shout out Sherry Colo, who wasn't only extremely entertaining here, but they were great in Shortcomings, which we saw back at Sundance. It feels like this is like about to be a year where their profile just goes to a whole new level.
Equally great in both, also, by the way.
Equally great.
Stole both films.
Stole both films.
So good.
Oh, and the Q&A. Killed the Q&A.
It killed the Q&A in Shortcomings too.
Yeah, she did.
I think just talking about like who surprised us, Sabrina Wu as Deadeye. Also, the only one of these actors that I don't think I was familiar with at all. Is it their first movie?
Ashley Park. Emily in Paris.
Emily in Paris, yeah. But Sabrina
first
Wu
movie, I think.
Hasn't been.
But Sabrina
first
Wu,
feature.
Sorry,
Gotcha.
Sabrina Wu has not been in anything. I think they were a writer on something. SNL, not
Maybe,
SNL something.
But they came in with probably some of the most deadpan, just the facial reactions that they had were fantastic. I think they were a standout for a lot of the people when people were asking like, who did you most relate with? Because it's definitely one of those movies where it's a friend group going on this adventure. And as an audience, you're supposed to relate to one of them. I would say I want to be Sherry Cola, bro.
I know.
I want to be Sherry
I think
Cola.
everybody wants to be Sherry Cola, but most people are probably probably Ashley Park.
Ashley Park sometimes, but no, overall, I thought that the way that they were able to come together, and because they're stopping in so many places, so you have a fresh amount of supporting actors who are going to be playing off of them as well. Because like at the beginning, you have, they're growing up, you have the parents, you never see the parents again, but they had this whole back and forth that they had there, which I thought was great. You were mentioning Ashley Park, who kind of, I mean, they're all co-leads, but Ashley Park and Sherry Cola are the two that we're following.
We should also mention Stephanie Hsu, who is everybody's favorite actress now. And, it was very funny, and I don't feel like I've seen her in that mode. Very ridiculous, very raunchy, and I mean that's the thing that I really took away from it is just how like unreserved it is, how just like freely ridiculous and raunchy and sexy and crazy it got. Like they had no. They feel like they're not stopping themselves at all.
No, if an idea crossed their mind, they were like, doing it.
They went for it.
We're doing it.
It might be, we were talking about this with Bottoms, I feel like even more so, this might be something that verges on too ridiculous for some people.
Really?
I can see for some people.
And why not Bottoms?
No, because we already said that would definitely verge on being too ridiculous.
I'd say even more than Bottoms. I think this goes like crazier places, and like particularly like the way that the plot moves around without really much explanation of it. It's like I was talking with Caitlin, who didn't even catch that they lost their passports at one point. Like but it happens so fast.
It is fast. I actually think that it's more accessible than Bottoms. I do think certain jokes get way raunchier. Like the what happens at the end of the K-pop dance scene and stuff. Like there's just certain things that go further. But overall, this has like, even when it's going so fast, I do think it has a bit more of like the formula of like, this is a raunchy comedy, but we're gonna have studio comedy. It has the studio comedy feel because then it has this like emotional beat that they have to go through. They do handle it very well, but it's got those feel good moments. I do like it. I like it a lot. I just think that this one, I think I'd have an easier time recommending this to my parents than Bottoms.
Really? Well, in between Bottoms and Down Low, this is in the middle. You know?
Yeah.
And I think I have an easier, I don't know, like I feel like Bottoms starts, my parents are going to hate that. This at least follows some kind of formula that they'd be familiar with mentally that they're going to go along with.
I think a big reason for that is because it's Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg. You know, so if you've seen the Superbads of the world, it's just as raunchy as that.
It is,
it's a little bit of like a long shot.
Even in the way that you talk about how it feels like there's probably 15 minutes of alternate takes on the cutting room floor.
In Step Brothers and
it
stuff,
feels very like Apatovian or
yes.
like...
That's exactly it, yeah.
So I like that aspect of it and just switching it with, you know, what is this adventure that they go on?
I do think it's going to be a gigantic hit at the box office. I mean, provided people show up, which hopefully they will, like it's going to play really well in theaters.
People love Stephanie.
Yeah.
Stephanie was hot in this movie, bro. She killed it. I thought she was great. And even in terms of the Q&A, we probably had the most emotional answer, or we had the most emotional question that we didn't even get the answer to.
Ashley Park had that private little moment with one of the...
It was a private talk dealing with her character. And it was just like, no, that's beautiful. So
and then they fielded questions like really well. Like some people asked some like stupid shit.
So as much of a studio comedy as it is, I think the jokes still hit. It doesn't stray away from getting as raunchy as it can be. And it still had some heart in it. So
yeah, it has a lot of heart. And I do think that like, obviously none of us are Asian Americans or Asian at all. But I do think that, what?
Or women.
Or women, but still, yeah. But I do think that it like just giving, basically Seth Rogen was like, here's a budget, do what you want. Tell your authentic story the way you want to tell it. And don't feel like you have to be like the poster child for appropriate behavior in a movie. It was like, go tell, kind of same thing with Bottoms, like go tell your authentic truth. This was you as a gay, weird teen. This is you as an Asian American trying to like come, like tell those stories as authentically, make your inappropriate jokes, because you're allowed to make the inappropriate jokes. Like, I'm not allowed to say the F slur. Like, you know.
If they don't like it, screw them. Like,
you know?
And I think that's where you're able to get into pockets of humor where they're bouncing off of each other that can't be replicated with another group trying to do that. It's the same thing that makes the Seth Rogen movie so good.
Exactly.
He's finding a group of people that play off of each other. Yeah, that was great.
It's very exciting to particularly get to like feel like you're discovering this cast in a way. Because like even if you are somebody
it is kind of crazy, because
like even if you are somebody who came in loving Stephanie Hsu from Everything Everywhere, like this is a completely different speed, and it'll open up a lot of people's eyes to what these people can do. So
opening weekend for me. I highly recommend going out to the theaters for this. This is one to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little more reserved on my recommendation than the two of you, but it's still a recommendation.
You still go out?
Yeah, I'd still go out, especially because like it's just gonna play so well in a crowded room.
Yeah, people loved it.
Big release?
Yeah, Lionsgate, people loved it too. Yeah. Like, anyone around me that I talked to, like, loved it, so.
Fire.
Yeah.
Joyride, another really fun movie coming out of South by Southwest.
Yeah.